I am an anime fan, and every time when I think about how anime is becoming more mainstream and more cool, I always wonder how those people who made their whole identity being an anime fan, how are they doing? Because they're not really in some small special group anymore. Anime is super mainstream and very popular. As an anime fan, you know one thing that a lot of anime fans like to do? And that is listen to anime music. They got some absolute amazing songs in there, amazing anime endings, or maybe you can go and level up and evolve and just listen to some Japanese music in general. Because you all know the best type of music are the music where you have absolutely no clue what they're saying because you don't speak the language. And when a lot of people think about anime music in general, especially original songs that's not part of like an anime opening or anime ending, they think about Hatsune Miku, or just Miku. That's what most people call them. Most people don't really care enough to say the full name because that's literally way too much work. But we all know who Miku is. Here she is right here. She has a very recognizable design, and I'm pretty sure she's someone who you don't even need to be an anime fan to know who she is. You could just be on the internet for quite a long time and you've probably seen an image of her once, or maybe even listened to one of her songs. And when Miku first released, this was an extremely big deal. She was basically the first person to put this whole idea of having an AI sing your song instead of an actual person doing it. And when she ended up coming out, she was very successful. You know, she was making a lot of money, and a lot of other companies saw that it took inspiration. And by that I mean, they were like, wow, she's making a lot of money, and I want to get a piece of that pie. And I don't blame them at all trying to get some of that Miku money, because it is absolutely insane how hardcore fans treat this character. It's easily one of the most important segments of their life. Like, you have whatever they're doing, and then second most important thing is Miku. Because there is so much footage and so much pictures of people sharing like their whole Miku room, where it's like filled to the brim with posters. They have every single good smile statue. So they have Snow Mikus, the racetrack Miku. I feel like I'm forgetting another one that she has, the summer one where she has like pink hair. They have like every single Hatsune Miku merch item that you can think of, like all of the albums, all of the posters. I wouldn't be surprised if they have one of those extremely big cardboard cutouts, which I actually have no clue how big that will be because I don't know her canonical height, but I'm just going to make an educational guess that she's going to be like 5'11". So it's going to be extremely big. They go absolutely hard, and obviously other companies, they want to get that much money too. They just hope that maybe if I could create a character as iconic as Miku, I can make some of that money. Maybe they don't think it's possible for them to make something as big as her because she is extremely mainstream and is well known worldwide. But that doesn't matter at all. When she came out, a lot of other people decide that it's my turn and I'm gonna go and make some more Vocaloid, and she basically started this whole community. There are tons of people who talk about Vocaloid, and there are even some people who just dedicate their whole online presence, their digital footprint. I ended up saying a super smart word, I'm cool now, basically just talking about and really just standing this character. But most of the time when someone else comes out and say, I want to go and make a brand new Vocaloid, they usually do something that Hatsune Miku isn't doing. Like, for example, since she's a robot and not real, she sounds one way. Now really, she has two type of voices. You have the more classic Miku, where it's like extremely robotic, and then you have the more modern one. But again, she sounds like one way, a very recognizable voice. So people obviously saw that and went like, let me make someone sound completely new. Like, they'll make a character with a deeper voice, or a character with an extremely high pitched voice. And basically think about any type of voice type or any variety that you can come up with. Someone made a voice bank of it, and then they made a Vocaloid of it. This is an extremely big market, and there are tons of them out there. Like, let me use one example, Teto, which I know a lot of people could say is a really bad example because she is made by the same people who made Miku. She sounds completely different, and she has a 100% unique design, so you can very easily tell them apart from each other, and that's usually the way how you basically carve out your own path in this market. You make someone who looks unique and they sound completely unique, so people can get attached to them, and then maybe if they get popular enough, they can go and buy 500 good smile statues of them, because obviously they have to release one every single year. I don't know how much Snow Mikus they have. And one person who decided that they wanted a piece of this pie is the people who made 5-Minute Craft. Easily some of the worst content you can ever watch just on the internet in general, and they have decided to go and make Polar, and they ended up announcing her in one of the worst way possible. They did it in a way where they just completely ignored that Hatsune Miku exists, and they did that thing where they act like, yeah, we were the first person who ever decided to make like a virtual singer, character, this concept has basically never existed. And she is obviously the first one, and no other of them existed. So this instantly put a bad taste in people's mouth, and a lot of people did not like her already. So she did not get a good start at all. And when people try to talk about her, they just fill it to the brim with pictures of Hatsune Miku. And they're going like, hey, are you ever going to mention that this person exists and has been doing this way before you? Are you just going to keep on pretending that you're basically the first person who invented this? And that's the mindset they went with for an extremely long time. They completely just covered their ears and pretend none of this ever existed, and still went like, we are the first person who ever done this. No one else has did this before. And it doesn't help that her design, I don't know why they had to give her blue hair or make her look this way. Like, they could at least try to make her look 100% completely different. Like, I don't know, man. Give her pink hair. I know people are going to say there's also a Miku character with pink hair, but not a lot of people know that she exists. Only people that's super deep in the community will know. But that's probably also wouldn't go that well either. So it was not looking good for her at all. She had an extremely bad start. Now, I ended up talking about her not so long ago, and I wanted to really see, how is she doing? You know, it's been a couple of times. People completely forgot she existed. Like, I swear this has to be in one of the top 10 fastest fall off in history, because she came, people threw tomatoes at her, and then after that, people were like, pull her? I have absolutely no clue who they are, because, you know, everyone on the internet just moved on and forgot. So I really wanted to see, what is she doing? So I decided to go and check out her channel, and man, it is not looking good at all. This is probably one of the most saddest things I have ever seen in a while. Now, I know what you're wondering. Wow, her channel looks like it's doing good. It has 1 million views, but if you look at how her videos are doing, they're not really doing so great. And she has reached this point of absolute irony, and it is extremely sad. Basically, what am I talking about? She made some shorts, and she also made one song called Ripoff. So now her whole marketing thing, and I think their like last ditch effort to still make her relevant, is to basically feed in on this joke. Like, she talks about like, oh look, people call me like a Miku clone, and people also call me like Walmart Hatsune Miku, or like Dollar Store Hatsune Miku, or Miku at home, or just insert any type of those jokes. What she's doing basically reminds me of what Morbius tried to do. I think we all know how the story went, but this movie ended up releasing and it was absolutely terrible. You have some people calling it literally one of the worst superhero movies of all time, and everyone's making jokes about it. But because the people who made the movie saw that how much people were basically making fun of it, they thought that they could re-release it in theaters and maybe people actually go and watch it again. Well, this plan fell completely on their face because still no one went to go and watch the movie. So I think that has to be one of the first movies in history to flop twice. 2 times in a row. And I feel like Polar is trying to do that too. We're completely going into this joke being like, yeah, people think I'm this bootleg Hatsune Miku, but I'm going to show them that I'm not, and I'm going to go and make fun of it to show them that I'm fine with it, and it has not worked at all. But yeah, it's not really looking so great for our girl Polar, but this is also really not surprising at all. I think the idea of wanting to make a virtual singer is 100% fine. That's cool, but I just think this is just not the way to do anything. Just don't act like you completely made this concept and you're the first person to ever do it. It just looks so bad, and it just puts an extremely bad taste in people's mouth, and it makes people not want to support you in general. So I'm not surprised that it ended up this way. To be honest, I don't think Polar's going to exist in like the next 2 years. They're probably just going to put her out of her misery and just shut her down, and then you're just going to completely forget she existed. You're going to try to go up to them and mention Polar. They're going to be like, who? I have absolutely no clue what that is. Are you talking about a polar bear? Yeah, I do like polar bears. They are an extremely nice animal. They're going to be like, no, Polar, the virtual singer. Oh, I don't know who you are. You're probably talking about Hatsune Miku. Anyway, this is just something I want to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.